welcome back to another episode of Diving In Deep with me, Sara Evans. Today, we are so thrilled and excited to have the absolutely hilarious and so talented Miss Hannah Dasher. Hannah is known for her powerhouse voice and her unapologetic Southern style. You might also know her from her TikTok series, Stand By Your Pan. Hannah sure does bring a fresh and fun energy to country music, and today we're going to dive deep into her story and her life. Subscribe on YouTube, download this on your favorite streaming platform. Thank you so much. Enjoy the episode. Hannah Dasher, how are you?
Sara Evans, I'm tickled to be here, girl.
I'm
tickled.
So happy to finally have you on the podcast. We've been friends for what? A couple of years now. And we always seem to like run into each other and do things together, and we always have so much fun. But I have a feeling that this is going to be an amazing conversation. We don't do any kind of what do you call it? Like professional beginning. We just start talking. So
Great. Dig in, girl.
Yeah, dig in. So I just want you to tell the world, start with who you are, what do you do, why are you here, and how much do you love me? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Well, do we have the time? Yes, well, I'm Hannah Dasher, and I'm an entertainer. I'm a recording artist and songwriter here in Nashville. And I have a popular cooking series, a little country music and infused cooking series on TikTok, Stand By Your Pan.
Will you sing that, please?
Stand by your pan.
I love that every time. And every time you get the pan so perfectly.
Girl, well, I brought you some apple butter too. Remind me, I left some.
She brought some apple butter too.
I sure did.
Boots. And I brought boots with fur that I'm wearing for the next episode.
Apple butter. Well, I love that.
And you're a great musician too, don't forget that.
Well, thank you. Yes. I pick a little guitar and I tour with my band, and we just put out music recently, and we're recording a live record here in town this weekend.
Cool.
So I'm excited. Well, I want to showcase what I do. And anyway, and I'm happy to talk about it. And I've been keeping up with you, and this podcast is killing it. We played a show together, and my God, you sound better than ever. And that stage left guitar player, that tone hurt my feelings. It was so good.
Ben Thompson.
God. Anyway, y'all are great. And
wait, stage left. What is that?
That
Would
is
it be
our left. Not the audience.
From where we're standing.
So yes.
Ben Thompson. Okay. I wanted to make sure I shouted out to, but then Shane Smith, my other guitar player,
I couldn't see him over there. I was
too.
stage left, so I couldn't see everybody over there. I was, y'all were up on risers, and I was down there. But yes, the band sounded great.
Well, thank you. So you're doing a live album. That's so cool. And it's this weekend?
Yes, at Chiefs. I've never had the budget to really get the recordings that I wanted here in town. I have strong songs, but it's very expensive to go in and make art. The Nashville way is more, it's like an assembly line. You go in there, you cut as many songs as you can in the least amount of time possible, and you get out. So I've got a love-hate relationship with my recordings. There's things I love, but I travel with the Black Gospel Rhythm section, and you're not going to find that on a studio in Music Row.
Right.
You're not going to find that. And I've never really traveled with a videographer, which is the dumbest thing I've ever done, because I've made a presence online with videos, but I've never budgeted for a videographer to really come out and capture what I do live.
Either.
But it's important. I think so.
I think so too. I mean, it's just a matter of like space on the bunk and budget.
Honey, budget, 100%.
Like, who do you cut in order to have that?
100%. Yeah.
It's so hard.
A lot of acts, not me, because we're more of a rock and roll band, but a lot of acts are traveling without a bass player. Hardy's one of them, or because it's saving money. But
I know, I can't imagine doing that. I think I'm just too old school about it. Like,
I love that about you.
Because I don't know. I mean, but I agree with you though on how it's important.
Well,
have it.
When I and you and I both grew up listening to music, when you went to the concert, as a musician, and I'm sure you felt this way too, there was an expectation. You wanted it to sound like the record.
Right.
And it was, and the closest that it came to the record was just, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to describe that feeling to someone that isn't necessarily a musician, but I feel like people really appreciated that. And nowadays, the real musician is kind of getting buried by the tracks and the the production of things. And I hate to break it to fans, but what you're hearing at some of these big shows is not all being played live. And
it is on my shows. And that's why
I can tell it's real and raw and badass.
I can't give it up. Well, yours too. I mean, you always sound amazing, but I just can't, I don't know, maybe it's stubbornness or whatever, but I'm not like old and set in my ways. It's not the priority for me, which maybe I'm totally wrong and it should be, or if I go back to having a second bus, then maybe I would do that. But what we do now is I just have we don't have a videographer out, but I'll just ask like my tour manager, front of house, my merch girl to grab some great videos and pics with a great camera. And that seems to be helping and working, but if we're out doing music shows, I want the fans to hear the music.
Yes.
And I want to have an amazing band. But I know, it's just like, and all the young girls that aspire to be a singer like you, I think they respect hearing you do it live because it pushes them to be that great too, and not to depend on a machine to do that. What did you ask me? I don't know. I can't remember.
My sweet merch girl is a huge fan of you too, by the way, and you got to meet her a couple weeks ago, Taryn. But she's not a videographer. She tries, but their hands are always over the speaker or something, or it's or it's like it's never the right moment, or we didn't get the right. It is what it is. But I will have a videographer at this show, and I'm excited to make some content to show the world. Now
if I were doing a live show, of course, but just I think the everyday, on the road.
Well, that's important too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So what do you do? I mean, you're just posting bits and pieces of your shows and you just want it to look really high quality. That's why you do it. You prioritize it. And does your videographer have other jobs? I haven't posted
bits and pieces of my shows because, again, I run a skeleton crew. My drummer forever has been my tour manager, and I've just brought on a tour manager now. And he's kind of guitar teching on the side too.
Right.
Or he's running to the front of the house to make sure they've got the video queued up or whatnot. And my merch girl is working at the merch table and trying to, not lose sales.
Now, what video? Do you have video screens?
I will have a video screen when available. Yes. I've got a fun video. I've got a fun intro video. I don't want to give all of it away. You just got to.
That's true. That's true. You have to. Yeah, and then you want people to buy the live.
Well, sure. Do people buy music anymore? I don't know.
I don't know.
But I just want to give people a glimpse of what I'm doing that I wasn't able to really showcase in the last couple of years on these recordings. Nothing against the amazing musicians that have been a part of my records, but again, we do it a little bit differently live, and I'm happy for folks to see that. I was at a major booking agency for 4 years, and they never came to a live show. They never saw what I did. Anyway, And this new song, Wanted, the live album is called Wanted, the live album, but the new song Wanted, that's what it talks about, is just, give me the spotlight on a busy night and you'll see that I'm wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love that.
Well, thank you. Well, I look up to you and respect you so much. You are authentically country, and you brought that rootsy country to town at a time when it wasn't popular.
It wasn't.
Miss Cupid. God, I love the song Cupid.
Thank you.
And, 3 Chords and the Truth. I mean, you were featuring George Jones and Vince Gill on your records when, that was, no one was doing that.
Right.
When I moved to town, I moved here at the height of bro country. And if I could do that authentically, I would do it. But I can't do that authentically.
Same.
And so for years I was told, you're too country for country. You're too rock and roll for country. And Outlaw XM said, I'm too commercial country for outlaw. And then the highway says, well, you're too outlaw for the highway. And so I wrote, the first verse of this song, I Don't Want to Be an Outlaw. A long gone country music lost cause, but when the truth needs saying, and if the rules need breaking and the radio keeps playing the bullshit, I don't want to be an outlaw, but if the boot fits. And I took that verse to Jake Mitchell, and
I love that.
Loved it and blocked his calendar, and and Wanted was born. And anyway, I'm
So is the hook line, I don't
It's
want
called
to be an
Wanted.
outlaw, but I want to be wanted?
Well,
Sort of.
I sat on that verse. I wrote that verse, and I sat on it for like a year, and I thought, who do I take this to? It was like a Jeremy Spillman or a Bethard anyway. And I had a write with Jake coming up, and I thought Jake Mitchell would be great. And he had posted a song, Outlaw's Reward, or I sent him a song, Outlaw's Reward, that it's a video of Hank Jr. and Travis Tritt and Marty Stewart singing on the Grand Ole Opry when Waylon Jennings died. And it's a song about Jesus, and it's just a song about, I wonder what kind of reward he's got out on my head. All the stuff I've done down here. And I sent it to him, and it really impacted him. And he called me and said, hey, I'm going to church for the first time in like 10 years. I'm going to Murfreesboro to see my grandma or something. And he's okay with me sharing that on this. But anyway, that kind of struck up a bond. So I thought, I'm going to bring this song idea to him.
Yeah. That's a great, 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 great song idea. I love that.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that. I think that Angelina Presley years ago had a song of a similar title, she didn't want to be an outlaw or a renegade. She didn't want to let a little up. Anyway, but all that to say, the point is, I am wanted. Give me a big audience.
Yes.
But as you and I know, there's a lot of diamonds out there in the rough. I'm so glad Red Clay Strays have taken off and things like that, but people back home haven't even heard of them.
Right.
And it's wild, but I think it's because if you get radio play or to get on the major streaming playlists for Apple and Spotify and things to get heard, that is driven by the industry power players, the ones with the deep pockets, the one with, the big artists and the big relationships.
Right.
And if you're an independent person, if you don't have that, then you're just a diamond kind of hiding in the bushes waiting to be discovered.
Yeah. No, it's almost like I'm a broken record because I feel like I talk about this so much, especially on this podcast, but I talk about it in interviews, and it's weird because like when I got my record deal with RCA, your job was to do your job, which was singing, writing, looking great, performing great, being the artist, and making the music for them to go out and then make you famous by pushing your music. Now it's like the artist has to literally do everything. Even pay for somebody to come out and, video your shows so you can put, it's just,
100%.
there's so much emphasis on everything but the music. And it makes me so sad. And, and even like, I remember when I was coming out with A Little Bit Stronger and then Slow Me Down after that, I remember it being like, this is so weird. I'm having a really much harder time getting on radio. And the bro country stuff was starting, and I always blame Luke Bryan because I love him.
you, Luke. Yeah, right.
I blame Luke because even though I love him so much and we're good friends, but Country Girls Shake It For Me, that happened, and then everybody just started repeating it, and it just lasted forever. I mean, it was just like, country music and country radio had been totally taken over, and I feel like that's the case in a lot of areas in the world currently where
Trends.
it's like, dang, well, if you have a top 40 or 50 chart, you may have 3 women, in the top 40. And I just remember getting so mad at like listening to the radio for hours and never hearing myself, much less a girl. And I was just getting so frustrated.
You've always put out great songs, though, but not every girl or boy does.
Well, thank you. But it's just like, I'm just like, at least it can be. When I first got my deal, it was at least closer to more half and half. Like, I was competing with so many women.
98, 90, when did you sign your...
I signed my deal in 96, I guess. Made 3 Chords in the Truth. That was a big flop because I was told I was too country. It was too country for country radio. And I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? It was so devastating and disappointing because, you know, you put your everything into, especially your first project. Then we kind of like went back to the drawing board and we came out with No Place That Far and that record with Cupid.
Oh, yeah.
And it was still really country, but it was a little bit more, you know, mainstream country. And then I just kind of wrote Born to Fly and decided, oh, this is more my sound. This is a blend of like bluegrass, contemporary country, but it's still very rootsy.
You got to wrap the pill in a little bit of cheese to get the dog to swallow the medicine.
Right.
So I'm willing to play ball, and that's something that I think is misunderstood about me because I'm bullheaded and I've gotten in my own way often.
I do too.
But people are afraid to be direct because everyone is dancing around and nobody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I grew up with opinionated Southern women, and just like you did on your Missouri farm. And I'm just, if you want to communicate with me, just tell it like it is. Don't just cut straight. Don't dance around it. Tell me, tell me what I need to do and tell me what I'm doing to get in that, in the way, and tell me where we're going and we'll go there together. Tell me what you need.
People don't like to do that, especially with artists, because they're afraid like I'm going to either, lose my job with this artist or, I think a lot of times, you're working with people who are more on the business end of things, the marketing end of things, but they're not artists themselves. So, I would tell you straight up, if I were advising you, like, you need to stop doing this, you need to start doing this, because I'm also an artist. Whereas if I were just in the music industry, but I wasn't a singer, and because I feel like I have a really good read on what my fans want from me.
Yeah.
So like when I post pictures of myself that are personal and I say something personal with that caption, it always gets so many more likes than something that's, standard, or we're promoting something. And that's not anything special that I'm doing. It's just that I think we know, because we're out there watching our fans, speaking
100%.
to them. And so we know what they love from us. But we hear how they react on one song versus another song.
Correct.
So we get that. That's why when you said you were with a big agency and they never came to one of your shows.
With RCA too.
That's just like crazy to me, because how can they understand it if they don't see it?
Correct. I don't know how you can do that. Some of the best songwriters in town that I've learned from have taught me to test your songs on the road.
Right.
Don't just rely on what the label's telling you, what they think is going to perform well, but you test those songs out. And if they're singing that chorus back to you the second time it comes around, then that's the one you want to cut. And so,
because you feel the energy, you feel the applause. I mean, I get standing ovations on songs that people have never even heard me sing before, but because
Queen.
no, I mean, I'm not bragging, but I'm sure you feel that same thing.
Well, it meant something to you, and so you wanted to showcase it to them.
And then when they respond in a certain way, okay, they're tracking with me here.
Real knows real, girl.
Yeah.
Yes. But to add to what you were saying, I was signed a few years ago and then sat on a shelf and expected to move the needle myself. It was just, okay, let's sign these people in case they pop off. And then when they do pop off, then we'll claim them and scoop up the royalties, and then we'll start putting some grease
it's like
behind
buying up real estate so nobody else can have it.
Yes. Yes,
But
and that's
then-
kind of yeah. So I wasn't even announced. We didn't even go to. I was there for 4 years, and we never went to celebratory dinner or anything, and signing a record deal. Like,
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest things in the world with the biggest label in the world. You know,
that's unbelievable.
but it is what it is.
I'm so sorry.
Well, honey, it is, but it is what it is. I should have went with better management. Or with management, period. But I was told for years, well, you don't have anything to manage yet. I was always asking the label, well, can you please set me up with somebody? Because I know that it would take somebody manager to put me in front of an audience, to put me on a tour, so that I could showcase what I do live. Because to me, I knew that was where I was going to win, was in front of people, whether it's on camera or on a stage.
Right.
Anyway, but all that to say, I love this new phase that we are seeing in music.
Now tell me what we're seeing, because I don't listen to music.
Well, independent artists are flourishing, and we've cursed Spotify in one hand, and then in the next we praise them for exposing us to more, or allowing more people to be exposed.
I know. I never know how to feel about
To
that,
us.
or how to comment on that.
Well, I mean, again, I know that it's responsible, or streaming platforms have brought fans to me, just like the cursed social media platforms have really done a lot to
Right.
bring fans to me too. So again, you just got to work with the model that's working for you, and they're still getting the music.
You have a ton of followers, as you were
When
telling
they
me the
can
other
see
night.
me,
Well, the other night you were like, now, were you talking about TikTok when we were talking the other
both
night?
platforms,
Yeah.
both. Well, I'm so grateful to TikTok. Well, I mean, hell, I did the work, but anyway, I have such a thanks to a big app like that. I was the first, I guess, artist or person in Nashville to go viral, and it's introduced me to all kinds of people. And so when you go to a Hannah show, I pride myself, and I'm so tickled that my fan base is so eclectic. I mean, we've got everybody, gay, straight, crooked, level, young, or your Gen Zs to your dirty old Facebook men.
Right.
And you know exactly.
I have
So-
no idea what you're talking about.
girl.
There's one in jail right now.
I saw your meet and
to be
greet line.
honest.
Oh my God, we got to talk about that. But anyway, so I have a very eclectic audience, and I think as entertainers, it's our job to help people escape from politics and from all that stuff. Like a Hannah Dasher show is one place you can go and have a great time.
Yeah.
And my social media pages I feel the same way. Again, I want to be a safe place that everybody can come to.
Right.
I majored in journalism at the University of Georgia. Go Dogs. And
Did you go to Georgia?
I went to Georgia, girl.
Oh my gosh.
We're about to play Tennessee too, so Lord help us. But I am very passionate about politics and the world, and I try to keep up with both sides of the aisle because I like to stay informed, and I was just taught to keep up with both sides of the aisle. So what I follow and what I keep up with on my own personally, I think is my business. You know what I mean? But I've never posted anything on my page that's political or in my stories because I never want to, offend anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you're a person of influence, then you've got a greater, thumb on you. But I think, if you kill or censor one perspective, then you kill people's ability to think for themselves.
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
and so it's,
that's crazy because, like you said, you were making money that way, and you have people to support. And there's
I'm
something called
providing
the First
entertainment.
Amendment.
Well, yeah, but we're providing entertainment on a platform, for people as well too. And I don't think, what does Nana say? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. That's my crazy Nana, the one that's been married 5 times. She's like Medea.
Wait, is this your mom's mom?
Yes.
Okay, she's been married 5 times.
We only know where 2. Well, I'll say 2 of the bodies are missing.
2 of them are missing.
2 of the
Okay.
bodies are missing. That's that Nana. Crazy.
Wow,
She
maybe
is-
they liked that same Instagram.
She
post
said
or
she got
whatever.
married 5 times because she didn't like to sleep around.
That is hilarious.
That's one. Anyway, but all that to say.
Wait, now how old is she? I'm interested.
89.
That's amazing. And are you from Georgia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My stepdaughter got recruited to Georgia out of high school and played basketball there. And then she transferred to Alabama. So she's been in Alabama for 2 years.
Well, we know why she went there.
Yeah, we know why she went there. But she started at Georgia. So I have like a little special place in my heart for Georgia because of her playing basketball there for 2 years. But now she's at Alabama, which is my first love.
A fan of Alabama? Are you still?
My gosh, yes. Lord. Are you kidding me?
I was hoping this crimson was not just a coincidence.
No. I mean, well, it's so funny is because I was born and raised in Missouri, married Jay, and Jay was a quarterback at Alabama. He won the national championship in 92. He's still the winningest quarterback at Alabama.
Wow.
And especially in 92 when he won, and he was only a sophomore. So the whole time he was there, he was like, Elvis. And so we got married. My kids were really little. We moved to Birmingham. And we all, lived there. And he has 4 kids and I have 3. So my kids don't know anything else other than being Alabama fans. But then Missouri became a part of the SEC. And then it got a little weird because I was like, do I root for Missouri or Bama?
Do you root for Mizzou?
And so now I root for both, except when Missouri and Alabama are playing, I just stay quiet.
There you go. And I try to pull for Tennessee because I've been a Tennessee resident for 12, 13 years.
Right.
Until
with me too.
2 weeks from now, because by God,
no,
I can't watch.
What
football.
Do you think's going to happen?
I don't know. I mean, I don't pray over football or football games because I've got other fish, bigger fish that need frying.
So does God, I think.
Exactly. But I mean, but yeah, Georgia, Tennessee, I'm going to sweat bullets this year because y'all have been doing a great, Tennessee's been doing a really good job this year.
Yeah. When you say y'all with me, it's Bama.
You're right.
We're talking about Bama. But
we won't talk about that Vanderbilt game.
I know. Geez. And we actually went to that game.
Did you see him lift the goalpost out of the ground?
Yes, we were trying
down
to
the road
leave
like a bunch of fire ants.
Yeah, right. I was so worried about somebody getting hurt because we were like leaving and I was watching it and I go, somebody's going to get so injured. They took it all the way down to the river and threw it in the river. But it was still a fun game. So my stepson is one of the coaches at Bama also. So I can hardly even watch the games because all I'm doing is looking for him. I'm like, oh, there's Braxton. So it's all just fun. But,
Is he good looking?
When Nick, he's gorgeous.
Girl.
He's gorgeous. He looks so much like his dad. And he looks like his mom too. But he, I feel like we have 7 beautiful children. They're all very good looking. But that could just be me bragging as a mom.
Well, they have to be good looking. Hell.
Well, you're sweet. I want a lot of makeup though. So.
I think would make beautiful children.
Who?
I think, Zach Top, obviously, but Scott Eastwood.
Okay. They always call Audrey's boyfriend Zach Top as a joke. Does he look like him?
No.
Okay.
Zach's more blonde.
Is he? I don't know why they call him that. I need to because I've been so frustrated with country music, but you and a lot of people have been telling me that it's getting great again. So do I need to start listening again?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm paving my own lane and I have to keep blinders on because I'm so occupied with all that I've got going on that it's hard for me to stop and try to listen. And but Zach caught my eye a couple of years ago. Caught my ear rather, not my eye. Mm-hmm. And I invited his wife. Well, actually, we were hanging out in the bars one night. His tour manager at the time was a fan, and he's like, "Hey, can he get a picture with you?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, I want a picture with you too, boo. Like, you're going to be a superstar." And we stayed out drinking until 6 a.m. And I invited his wife to Bible study. And next time I saw him was at a festival, like fast forward 6 to 8 months later, and he's blown up earlier this year. And I was like, "Hey, I want you to tell your wife that, we started the Bible study back up." And he goes, "Hannah, you didn't hear I'm not married anymore." I said, "Well, praise God."
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, bless it.
Well, he couldn't have been married too long. Like, how old is he?
He's 20. the right age. He's like 27, 28, I think.
Okay.
28. So just a few years younger than me. God, I'm holding 1989. What a year for country music.
Wow.
But all that to say, yeah, age, they're tough on you with age. But I think that, people, we're getting our music and our news online now instead of just relying on TV or radio,
Yes.
et cetera. So it's a great place for creators and artists to showcase their art. And it's a great place to find, acts like him, like 49 Winchester and Red Clay Strays and
I need
Taylor
a list
Honeycutt
of all these new
and
people that you're naming.
Sierra Farrell. What a great voice. She is just so incredibly talented. And
they're all independent artists.
yes, and they're killing it.
Yeah.
And they're killing it.
And they're killing it on mainstream country radio as well?
No, they're not on mainstream radio, but they're putting more butts in seats than any of those acts.
Gotcha.
And again, a lot of people follow the trend. A lot of us are top 40, but a lot of us like to create the trend or like to go digging and find things out ourselves. And I think that that quality really needs to be revamped in people as a whole.
Totally agree. Yeah. It's just kind of, it feels like the industry side of things. Is that me or you?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hold on. It's Avery. I'm going to answer them.
Get it. I love it.
Avery, you're on speaker on the podcast. We're filming right now. And Hannah Dasher is here.
Hello.
What's up? How y'all?
I like your dimples, and I love that. Is that him with the top with the western top?
Yeah, from H Bar. I just showed her some pictures of your photo shoot.
Honey, that look delicious.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. Well, I'll let y'all go. I didn't know you were in the middle of recording. I was just going to say what's up.
That's sweet.
Oh, he is the best son ever. He really is. He is the best son. Okay, I'll call you between episodes. I love you.
Okay, awesome. All right, love you too. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Is he singing as well?
Yes.
I love that. It's hard for to follow in. I know, like Olivia's musical. Who traveled with you last year
Olivia.
and sang? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's got to be hard to follow in
I know.
parents' footsteps.
He just made a 3-song EP that he came on the podcast. We talked about it, and he's going to release it early next year. And Todd Lombardo produced it. And Avery is a phenomenal guitarist. And so he's a great singer, great writer. He's not, he's going to be like one of those indie cool. He's not bro country in any way, shape, or form. I mean, the furthest from it. But I want you to make me a list of people that I need to start listening to that are indie artists.
Yeah.
And check it out. Because, and we were talking about that, like, the mainstream country radio, how like it doesn't matter that much anymore and everybody's doing it a different way. But I still feel like if you're not on mainstream country radio, and you tell me if I'm wrong, because I really don't pay that much attention anymore. I just focus on my shows, my band, my touring, my music, and what I'm doing.
And your badass podcast.
And my badass podcast. We're getting there. It's starting to really kind of, what is the term? Grow legs or, gain traction. But I feel like if you're not on mainstream country radio, you're not being included in like the CMA awards and the ACM awards. So how does that needs to start happening?
I think ultimately great art speaks for itself. And, like the Grammys reached out to me this year to come do their thing here in town, and that led to some really cool relationships with some other respected artists and other genres. And I just think that great art finds its way. And Chris Stapleton was Nashville's best kept secret until someone outside of town with a big following shed light on him. That was Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, when they sang together.
Yeah. And so I just I think
but
it's
what
so
about the rest of them? Those are like anomalies, like when that happens. But what about all the independent artists that are out there now? I mean, is there going to have to be a new like independent award show? independent, artists that aren't signed to major labels?
I mean,
Because the Grammys have always been like, the more independent you are, the more weird you are, the more off the beaten path you are, the more you get nominated for the Grammys. But I'm talking about, the CMT awards, CMAs, ACMs, all those we have always considered to be the big award shows.
I used to practice my Female Vocalist of the Year award speech in the mirror for several years.
With a hairbrush?
With a hairbrush from like age 6 to probably 10. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, but I don't know how to say this. Craig, you're going to have to, I know you're Mr. Man, AC member there, but
yeah, but he's also
it's all been,
my man. I mean, he's very.
It's all been cheapened for me, though. Can I say that it's been cheapened for me in the last couple of years?
I feel like Craig Dunn can really separate it, though. Yeah. Because he's a manager as well. You know what I mean?
Well, it's in my top 3 or 5. I'd say the top 5 items on my bucket list was always, in addition to becoming a member of the Opry, but to co-host. The ACMs, the CMAs, to coast an award show. I'd love, like Vince and Reba used to do.
You'd be amazing at it.
I'd have a damn ball.
You'd be amazing at it.
But again, I don't have the political pull in the industry, if you will. Again, it's just we only want the hype. It's hype driven. It's hype driven. But am I doing what I'm not making the art that I'm making for that one night a year.
Right.
Like you can't take that shit with you when you go.
But your music is right down the line. Like, you are so great. You're right down the line country. You should be in that. You know what I'm saying? That's what's frustrating to me.
I want to be, and I believe I will be. I think God has had to do some humbling and some working on me. I've always been heavy. I've grown into my looks, and thanks to Wilson and Grit and Hustle, we've dropped some weight, and I've
look amazing, by the way.
Well, thank you. But
I thought you looked amazing.
Well, you are so
the whole
kind.
time.
Well, I've always struggled with my weight, and I think I overcompensated. For that insecurity, by being an overachiever with my music, songwriting, guitar playing, whatever, if you will. And I had an ego about it. I knew I was better than the next chick in town, but I wasn't as pretty as she was. And so it just, I'm being very direct and very honest,
but I love it.
But I had to recognize that I had to do some changing, and, God had to humble me, so that I could really, so that I could communicate better, so that the relationships around me would improve.
And I get that,
music improved as a result.
It's hard to live and do anything when you've got bitterness going on. I mean, I had that too. When anytime they wouldn't add one of my records, I would just be like, what the fuck? Why? Like, this song I've just come off of a huge hit, yet you're going to make me beg and plead for a second hit, and I was one of those artists that, radio never made it easy on me. And now we're not even talking the same two worlds.
I never got to go on a radio tour.
Exactly.
Ever. Like, they signed me. And so, I was begging for that kind of a thing,
Right, exactly.
But I didn't look the part yet, if you will. And they were never ugly to me about that. But, it's we're in the public eye. They want something pretty to look at. And again, I had, I was living off Taco Bell or whatever I could afford and scrubbing toilets on the side, what I mean, to help pay my band. I couldn't afford to eat really healthy. But when I made a little money and bought some boobies and bought better hair and, and some better clothes and got introduced to, my stylist and my HMU and just, the people that are in my life now and that have helped mold me into me.
You're not the only one that has had to do that, though. I mean, it took me a while to find my style. I was such a nerd before Avery was born, and then I had this story. I was laying on the couch and, I had gained like 50 pounds with Avery when I was pregnant. And I saw Faith Hill's video "Breathe" come on CMT, and
The satin sheets and the
satin sheets, and I remember my stepfather being so angry at that video because he was like,
Wow.
"What the hell has country music come to? This ain't country," and
Oh yeah.
but I loved it. I mean,
Yeah.
but and so, but I just remember thinking, okay, when this baby is born, I'm going to get so thin. I'm going to grow my hair out so long. I'm going to become, instead of just being this country hillbilly from Missouri, grew up on a farm, because I knew I had the chops. I never ever questioned that. But I didn't grow up with money, so I didn't know how to dress. I didn't know what to buy. I didn't know how to style myself. And so I thought, well, the easiest thing for me to do is just to stick with that. Like, I'm a country hillbilly. I'm kind of like a female Dwight Yoakam kind of thing. Well, something inside me was just like, when you have this baby, you're going to have to become a sex symbol. You're going to have to apply that to everything else. And that's what I did. I mean, that's all I focused on. And I came out with the Born to Fly video where I had, lost all the baby weight and did the whole thing that I said I was going to do. And you're right, it really does help. And I'm not mad about that because, I mean, we are, to the labels, we are a product.
Well, yeah.
And it's fine.
Well, you got to look good on camera. But
yeah.
I mean, I think as long as you are healthy and as long as, you feel sexy in your skin, right. I think that's all that matters.
That shows.
Yeah. Well, I've tried to feel sexy at all of the sizes that I've been, and I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm not having a bad day because I'm not a size 4.
Well, men actually, I think, prefer the voluptuous woman who feels sexy and portrays that rather than the bone thin woman who still is not funny and insecure and, maybe she's, kind of bitchy or hard to live with. Any man, you ask any man, he would rather have that, big ass, big boobs,
that's right.
Curvy,
Lord, the married men that hit up my DMs all the time.
Yeah,
well, I married a trophy blonde that couldn't fry chicken, and
exactly. They the way to a man's heart is through food so much. And I'm like you, I love to cook. And
you're a great cook. I've had your chili.
You're a great cook. I've had your. What'd you make me?
I don't remember. I was probably something healthy.
It was either meatloaf or
I don't remember.
Or pork. I went to everybody. I went to Hannah's house for dinner. I don't know which camera to look at.
A couple years ago.
A couple years ago. We had the best time. And you made me mashed potatoes and maybe I think it was meatloaf.
Probably.
Whatever it was freaking.
We had capris for dessert.
Awesome. We had capris for dessert.
A whole pack on the porch. Yeah.
On the porch. Great. Yeah. It's kind of cold outside and we still kept sitting out there.
I love that. I don't know how you stay so, in shape and thin and cook like you do. I mean, what's your regimen? What do you eat during the week?
Okay.
What do you eat? Do you eat?
I don't eat a lot. Here's my thing. I like to live intuitively. So if I'm thirsty, I'll take a drink of water. If I'm hungry, I'll eat. If I am tired, I'll take a nap. If I'm, if I feel like, God, my body needs to move, I'm so sedentary, then I'll go out and do something like play tennis or whatever. I've tried to teach my kids this since they were born, is everything in moderation and live intuitively. Now, not intuitively with everything. You should pray every day. Absolutely. I read the Bible every day.
That's great.
There's something that you need to do every day. Tell your children you love them every day. Take care of your family every day. But as far as I go, because I definitely would say I probably have an eating disorder. I feel that if I'm overweight, that people don't like me, that I'm not cool, I'm not funny, I'm not pretty anymore. I'm nothing if I'm overweight. So, but I'm also in therapy for, some of those issues. And I can totally point to why I feel that way.
Well, I'm proud of you, for embracing that and being honest and open about that. I mean,
yeah, I want to be skinny more than I want anything in the world besides for my children to be saved and to be happy, and for my husband to be happy, and, you know, for our family to be saved, knowing that we're all going to heaven.
Hallelujah.
And healthy. I want my children and my husband and my family and friends, people that I love, to be healthy and happy. But aside from those obvious things, like if you would just say, Sarah, what do you want? What do you desire more than anything? It's to be thin. Gosh, so I know it's
an addiction, though. I mean, I get it. I mean, you know, like I love chocolate and fried chicken like Keith Whitley loved liquor.
Exactly.
We all have our things that we're born with, but faith is, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was really a turning point for me. Mm-hmm. You know, it took me losing my record deal for God to show me that I love country music more than him. And that was tough to admit.
And I love that you said God had to humble you before, because we won't succeed unless we allow God to humble us, you know.
No, but
and that doesn't mean you got to roll over and be like, when you take away your pride, it doesn't mean you let yourself get walked on.
No, not
at all.
But it takes a hard-headed person. You got to be stubborn and hard-headed, I think, to do this for a living.
You do.
And to be
really do.
In the entertainment business in general. So with me, you got to, you know, you can't just don't do that. You know, you got to knock me upside the head and put some sense into me. Mm-hmm. Is that gonna? Those
is that what you feel that God
get
did?
us canceled for saying that? No. Okay. Good.
Yeah. And if you leave, if you go away and you're like, I wish I wouldn't have said that, just text me. We'll take it out.
Just shoot me real edit, and we can
exactly
for him. But yes, I do. He pulled the rug out from under me, but it was necessary, and it's made a survivor out of me. And my road has not been easy, but I know that other people have had a harder journey. I can't name one right now, but I know that they're out there. So
how did you start in music? Like, because I really realized this while you were talking a while ago. I've always known this, but I feel like it needs to be said. You have to really love what you do. You have to really love music in order to do it in this day and age, because it is the most frustrating thing in my life. It's my career, but I also love it.
You've got a great team of people behind you that love you.
Absolutely.
And it's your calling. I mean, it's your calling. You know, I've always felt like it was mine. I've always had a piece.
When did you know that?
It's probably the first thing I ever knew. I don't know. I mean, I got a stethoscope as a gift when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I played with it for a few weeks. Then I had the hairbrush singing into it, trying to be Reba McEntire, you know, or Alan Jackson. And music's just always been my thing. It's my escape. It was, you know, it came easy to me. And it just, you know, how could you not fall in love with country music when you grew up in the 90s with all that awesome, you know, Brooks and Dunn and Alan Jackson? You know, I just got to sing for Randy Travis, and that was the coolest thing ever, and Full Circle. And and those are things that 4 or 5 years ago, I would have appreciated them and I would have loved them, but I'd have been like, on to the next thing, as opposed to stopping and really appreciating it, because it takes losing.
Yeah.
You know, having a record deal is not the end all be all. I thought it was, only because the town, you know, this town kind of gives you a scarlet letter when you lose a record deal.
That's right.
But mine's a Letterman jacket, honey.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that.
I mean, I just, you know, no one's doing what I do. And I've just got to marry rich or keep working the streets somehow, keep selling these T-shirts and all the good things. And, girl. And
marry rich and do your career. Because, you know,
marry rich was a backup plan.
That's right. Yeah. And marry rich with no prenup. If he's the rich one.
Right. Or you'll be crying all the way to the bank. Well, you can love a rich one. My grandmother, the crazy grandmother, says you can love a rich one as well as you can love a poor one. So
yeah, but it's just, you know,
who would you put me with if there was like a celebrity out there? Who would you put me with?
Oh my gosh. I mean, you're one of the most original people I've ever met in my life.
Thank
and which is a compliment.
Thank you.
But I would put you with a young, eastbound down.
Jerry Reed, Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
I would put you with a young Burt
It's
Reynolds.
on my phone. Yeah, Burt Reynolds.
Can't you see that?
Oh,
Y'all would make you would have made the best couple.
darling, a young Randy Houser. No offense,
Yeah.
Randy, he feels young now, I'm sure. But
Well, I don't even know
Why is
that
Clint Eastwood's
much about
son
Randy Houser because
single?
I'm so out of it. But
I think I know why. I don't know personally, but there's only one reason a man that good looking.
or I'd put you with.
Could be
I'd
single.
probably put you with Rip from Yellowstone.
Yes.
You need a manly man, like
Yes,
you know.
girl. Yes.
Because you've got a strong personality, but I can tell, but you're also like an amazing cook. Like you remind me a lot of me. We have a lot of different sides to us. Like,
But you know how to fend for yourself. You can fend for yourself.
right.
Yes.
Right,
I love
yeah.
that. I love that. People
I
that
don't
with
like
the
to
cornbread.
though.
Well, you were born to be driven around. I was too. See my driving record, but I get it. But a lot of folks think I'm with Cornbread Cowboy and he's awesome and I love him to pieces.
Now, who's that?
But no, I'm not. He's an influencer that he wears these rancher pants too that you asked me about. He's crazy with the beer belly and the retro shirts. Looks like he popped out in 1981.
I've seen him. Okay, yeah.
Always chasing me around. He's funny. Anyway, I love him to pieces. But we did a whole series last year that went viral, and a lot of folks think that I am with him, and a lot of guys like a meet and greet are, like they're always assuming, and that's funny. So, and I'm always on the road, and I'm surrounded by my circle of people, if you will, that bubble. And when I'm off the road, I'm in the kitchen making videos or in the living room making videos, and I'm never going out and mingling anymore. And, and it's hard for people, I guess, in our industry to meet other people. And and I haven't even been praying for a significant other. I've just been so busy. But
do you have siblings?
I do. And they've all been kind of, my parents and sister have been on me. They're like, are you ever going to settle down? You ever going to? I'm like, I don't know. Let me ask Sarah today who she'd put me with.
I'm
double.
sorry because Burt Reynolds is too old for you now, but it's that kind of person in Smokey and the Bandit. That's what I would put you with.
Oh yeah, a good little hot rod.
Right.
Well, he must love Jesus and he must be handsome because I want my man to hurt people's feelings when he walks in.
Yeah,
he
has to be handsome.
he's so good
he has
looking.
to love Jesus. You're so right.
Must love country music and rock and roll.
Yes, and he has to have a great sense of humor. I mean, I saw on Instagram the other day that said if a man can make you laugh, that's just like, I don't know, it's a huge percentage of what will keep you happy with them.
Oh yeah,
if it can make you laugh.
The candy coating wears off.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're getting ready so Wanted is out now.
Yes.
Or coming.
Yes. Wanted just came out.
I'm
and
listening to it tonight.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
and Wanted the live album. We're going to record that this weekend at Eric Church's place. I'm a big fan of Eric and his songwriting, and have been for years. And he's been really selective about the folks that are playing the neon steeple there. So I'm tickled that they've reached out, and I decided we'd make that show the live album recording. And so, but I've been sharing my faith a little bit.
I love that.
In my shows a little bit. So,
did you recently get saved, or have you been saved for a long time?
I've been saved since I was like 10 or 11 years old. But just, I don't ever want to push my faith on anybody or anything, but I'm always asked on my platforms regularly, what's the reason for your joy? Like, why are you always so happy? And it's not because I don't have a shit day.
Right.
But it's just, I'm excited about heaven. And the older I get, the more I realize it's the most important thing.
Yeah.
It's, when seek ye first
The kingdom of God.
and all these things will be added.
Right.
And everything else falls into place. And if I'm having to manage myself, then who am I answering to?
Yeah.
He is the only leader that I've got, basically.
Absolutely.
With these, with my agent and but again,
he's the only hope we have as well.
Absolutely. And so I've got to let him guide the way, because I've tried to do it my way, and I'm a hot mess sandwich.
Yes.
So,
yeah. And he just loves you so much. He loves us all so much. So
everybody, gay, straight, crooked, little, everybody.
100%, 100,000%. And even what you said about, well, I don't know. I don't pray over football games but you know, the Bible says God cares about the concerns of our heart.
Oh yeah.
And so if we want to pray over a football game, we can, but you know, there's nothing wrong with praying for anything. And I really, really do think that you're very, very gifted though. So I'm going to be praying for you to just pop off like
I appreciate that.
like you haven't yet.
Well,
I mean, like that you never, that you haven't yet
yes.
before.
No.
You know, like more than you ever have.
That means the world to me. That means the world to me. And my fans, I can feel their angst and their, you know what I mean? They're like, why aren't you open? Why aren't you on tour with John Party? Why aren't you da 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 da? And I've got to know that my time's coming. And it is. I think, when I went to C2C in Europe this year, I had the largest audience outside of the arena. And
that's amazing.
Music over there is not hype driven. It's, it's fan driven. Mm-hmm. And so I just think that's proof that I'm wanted.
I wish it would become more that way here. I really, really do.
Well, let's change it. I
think you and I need to start the independent artist awards.
Let's do it.
Because and I could be so dumb. There could be already something like that. But I just listen to podcasts constantly, and I'm obsessed with politics and
I know
the world and all that kind of stuff. And so I need to really get myself, you're going to send me the list of people to listen to that you're loving right now.
Will you send me a podcast or two that you've really been into that
Definitely.
I need to listen to?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Great.
But thank you so, so much for coming on. I wish you the very best with your live record. If I wasn't on the road this weekend, I would come to the taping. Because I would love to watch that.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, it's the live record is a means to buy me time as I shop for producers, and I'm going to go out of town, I believe, to do this and to do it. So I'm excited for the next project.
You have very big things because the talent is there. It just finding the right people is the thing.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Absolutely.
But I am very.
If I had your legs, I'd already be there, girl.
What?
If I had your legs, I'd already be there, girl.
No, you've got it. You've got it all. I also want to say, I told you this already, but Jay is actually the one who introduced me to you because he saw you on TikTok during COVID. And he was like, have you seen this girl who cooks? And she says, stand by your pan. And so I started watching you, and I was always, like I said, every single time you get it right. Do you ever have to do a retake, or do you get it right every time?
Lord, no. I mean, I've dropped green beans.
No, the little singing part.
Oh, the stand. I mean, I have had to redo it a time or two because, as Avery mentioned on the phone earlier, I'm a little bit of a hippie, and I like to.
Right. Sometimes your voice
I have safety meetings and
cooperating.
Correct, but I'm having less of those lately because I'm doing this record, and I've got to make sure the voice is on par. But
yeah,
the more safety meetings I have, the more retakes I have to do.
Hannah, I just love you so much. Thank you. Really, thank you so much for coming in today, taking time out of your busy schedule. I'll be praying for you. You pray for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I want to come back for dinner.
Oh, come on, girl.
God bless you.
Text me. I've got your little ashtray waiting.
I want fried chicken next time.
Okay. Can it be healthy fried chicken, like in the air fryer?
I
want fattening? Okay.
If we just eat a little bit of it, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Air fryer is good, though. I've never had air fried chicken.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Okay.
It'll be good.
I know it'll be good because you're a great cook.
Well.
Okay. Thank you.